Welcome to TFN. Today we are coming to you live from our studios in Pijilo. And in the headlines, Janjanbureh residents expressed disappointment over the bicentennial commemoration was held. And COP Africa chapter launches youthful volunteers into against climate change. Gambian prison officers testify in crimes against humanity trial of former interior minister in Switzerland. And in sport, Tom speaks to journalists after Gambia's defeat to Senegal, and apologetic Scorpion players react to defeat against Senegal. And in the international front, 8 dead, an estimated 100 people missing after the latest Nigerian boat incident. This and many more stories to come. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, you're watching TFN today. We are in Pijilo and I am Dauda Balde. Now the news in detailed. The people of Janjanbureh saw the bicentenary commemoration as an opportunity to uplift and upgrade some development of the island, but it turned out to their disappointment. As our reporter Aliu Jallo was in Janjanbureh and he spoke to the National Assembly member and some residents. Let's take a look at his report.
Residents of Janjanbureh are unhappy with the government's handling of the recent concluded bicentenary commemoration. They feel that they were not adequately involved in the event planning and execution. The chairman of Janjanbureh Kankuran Festival, Mohamed Lamin Sedikan, who is an influential young leader, expressed his disappointment. He believes that the Ministry of Tourism took control of the entire event without involving the people of Janjanbureh. Sedikan also points out that both the President of the Republic and the Minister of Tourism, Hamad Nkeba, failed to attend the cultural event later in the evening of the grand opening.
Also, where is government? Where is the President of the country? Where is Ahmad Ba, the Minister of Tourism and Culture? Where are they? You know, we were not expecting they will come, get us a nice tent, deliver their speeches and leave. We were expecting they raise money on our behalf. We were expecting they will come and celebrate from day one to the last day. You know, because the ambience and then the reason we are here is not just to come and talk about slavery, come and talk about reparation, come and talk about Janjanbureh being a settlement with the free slaves. No, it's about come, celebrate what is unique about Janjanbureh, celebrate the cultural heritage of Janjanbureh. But where are they? All the talents, all the young people that are here, you know, showcasing their talent. Where is the duty bearer?
Sedikan believes the commemoration could have been the catalyst for the development of Janjanbureh, turning it into the Silicon Valley and tourism hub of rural Gambia.
We're going to celebrate the success of this event because it's not only to come and dance. This is more than to come and dance at the Janjanbureh football field and we all go home. It is more than that. We've been working so hard to make sure Janjanbureh is a top tourism destination in the Gambia. They have to support our efforts. They have to complement our efforts. They've been doing good. You know, the last of the Kankuran Festival. But again, I was expecting government is going to take advantage of this place to sell Janjanbureh as a top destination. Because we don't want the tourists to be coming and we'll be talking about the slavery, the freedom tree, the Mungo Park. No! We want them to come and stay time here and know what is unique about Janjanbureh, the culture, the tourism.
On his part, Omar Jato Jammeh, the National Assembly member for Janjanbureh, criticized the implementation of the event, stating the involvement of the local community was not given enough importance. He believes that the community was underestimated and not allowed to take the lead.
Our disappointment here is the community are not given the opportunity to lead the process and ensure that the decisions that are made represent the view of the community. We felt it was just one individual who was more or less making decisions, not even allowing the technicians. Here, when I say the technicians, I mean, being it the National Center for Arts and Culture, being it the Gambia Tourism Board, being it the staffs of Ministry of Tourism, to actually advise the minister or the ministry on what was required. But instead, the minister was more of making unilateral decisions as much as this event is concerned. And for me, that's where my disappointments are.
Honorable Jammeh alleged that the $13 million raised for the event was not judiciously utilized. He said a lot of products and site reformations are needed for the people to feel the importance of the historic heritage sites.
So for me, in reality, all that were promised were not fulfilled. And apart from that, us as a host community who actually understand the history and the heritage of the island, they were not listening to us in ensuring that some of those components are observed, developed to meet the taste of visitors, not only to meet the taste of visitors, but equally to preserve those sites as historical sites.
Honorable Jammeh mentioned the success of the Kankurang Festival, which has been held for 7 consecutive years in collaboration with the National Center for Art and Culture. He highlights that the festival attracts Gambians living abroad as well as tourists. Community engagement is important as it promotes inclusivity, diversity, and creativity, which can add value to an event and make it more impactful. However, some residents of Janjanbureh feel the festival was imposed on them, with people from Banjul taking charge without enough consideration to the opinions and ideas of the local community. For the Fatu Network, I am Aliu Jallo.
Well, Mr. Aliu Jallo, you've been in Janjanbureh on several occasions, and also you attended the bicentenary commemoration. And you've heard about the complaints, the concerns of the citizens in Janjanbureh. What can you tell us about what do you think was actually not put in place in that?
Well, I mean, as journalists, we are obliged to listen to the residents as to their complaints, not to just only hear the positive styles, because if you look at government, all they want is rosy. They want to see that this was a success. At the end of the day, this kind of commemoration is something that they are going to present in their report as one of a success story. But along the line, the commitment of the residents, because Janjanbureh or Georgetown, it's a historic and needs a lot of development. And to be very candid, the place really needs some investment, because at the end of the day, students are taught about Janjanbureh being a historical place, but going down to the ground itself, the realities on the ground are quite different from what is seen. So, the residents believe that this would have been a catalyst for them to actually uplift some of the sites, and then some other major developments within the community, because I've been told that they've identified, together with the ministry, they've worked to identify other areas that need to be developed. But those were just promises that were put, but those promises were not put in place. And coming down to the actual commemoration, I mean, there are so many events that were not held, and the organization was actually was poor indeed. Their focus was more on the grand launching. But before the grand launching, there were activities that were supposed to be held, and those activities were not held. As journalists, we were not even taken to those activities. And you could see the residents, they were not happy, so they have to express their frustration. So as a concerned journalist who is actually in for human interest stories, I felt like this was something that we need to pick out, so that tomorrow when the ministry goes back, they will actually sit down and look forward to some of those loopholes and go back to these places and refurbish or fulfill some of these promises.
I mean, in one sentence, how will you describe the whole engagement in the bicentenary commemoration?
Well, I feel like there is a lot that needs to be done. The expectations were high, but those expectations were not met. And I feel that they have a chance for them to actually go back and fulfill some of those promises if we really want to sell Janjanbureh to the outside world.
Well, thank you very much. And now we will proceed with our news as usual.
Moving on, the Corps Africa Gambia chapter today launches and held the swearing ceremony of youthful volunteers dedicated to combat climate change through small-scale projects, aligning with Corps Africa mission to foster public services and contribute to African development. Dr. Pali has the rest of the story.
The goal of Corps Africa is to foster a culture of public service in Africa, enabling participants to use their education, skills, and energy to help fellow citizens overcome extreme poverty. In the Gambia, Corps Africa's focus will be on climate change and resilience, particularly through green initiatives. Fode Bojang, Corps Africa Country Director, describes this event as a major milestone in the fight against climate catastrophes. Mr. Bojang gives a historical overview of Corps Africa.
Africa has steadily expanded operations from Morocco to include Senegal, Mali, Rwanda, Ghana, as I mentioned earlier. In one of its articles, Corps Africa acknowledged that youth volunteerism is a powerful catalyst for change. It equips young individuals with skills and instills a sense of purpose and empowers them to become agents of progress in their communities. It further observes that the integration of volunteerism and community-led solutions championed by Corps Africa is a beacon of hope for Africa's youth. It embodies the essence of empowerment, collaboration, and sustainable progress.
Working alongside community members, these youthful volunteers will identify present areas of need and implement small-scale solutions to bolster community resilience and contribute overall development. Mr. Bojang reaffirmed their commitment to advocating for climate change and tackling its challenges head-on. Adama Ba, chairperson of the Board of Members, commended the initiative and emphasized that its success relies on hard work and dedication. He also underscored the importance of volunteerism in personal and national development, reminding the volunteers to treat people with dignity and respect.
You have been to university, yes. Yes, you are knowledgeable in academic learning. Yes, you can analyze and arrange your thoughts in a logical manner, but do not for once think you are better than those people you are meant to serve. If you serve, you are a servant, full stop. You are not a master, full stop. Respect women, especially young and vulnerable girls. This is very important for your image and that of the organization.
It is hoped that these newly trained volunteers will actively support Corps Africa's mission and contribute to addressing the climate crisis. Kemo Fati, Executive Director of Green Up Gambia, added his voice in support of combating the climate crisis through knowledge sharing and community engagement.
For far too long, when we sit in workshops like this, we can hold communications, but mostly we are not able to get the entire perspective of these local people. Why? Because it's in a workshop. So someone is coming just for the $300 that we are giving them, but they are not really listening to what we are saying.
Representing the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Executive Director of the National Youth Schemes, Abbas Ba congratulated Corps Africa for establishing an office in the Gambia and highlighted the challenges faced by the country's youthful population. He expressed optimism that these young volunteers will play a crucial role in the country's development.
As I stand here today, as I am looking at those that have been selected to serve in the various communities, I know Corps Africa made the best decision in selecting you out of thousands of young people in this country. This is a moment to reflect your minds on the challenges and opportunities out there in our communities.
Bintu Gassama, representing the Ministry of Environment, stressed the importance of Corps Africa in bolstering the country's environmental conversation and reiterated the ministry's unwavering commitment to supporting the cause for climate advocacy.
My advice to you, you volunteer, but it becomes a sworn duty once you were sworn in. And for that reason, whatever you said when you were sworn in is binding upon you. So you owe us, you owe the community a lot, and you will be accountable to us at the end of your service. I just want to say that you are also role models in society, and a lot of young people will be looking up to you.
Isaac Banshon, a volunteer, extended gratitude on behalf of the volunteers and affirmed their unwavering commitment to Corps Africa. The ceremony culminated in the volunteers receiving their certificates and taking an oath of allegiance, pledging their unwavering services to Corps Africa Gambia chapter. The event also featured a captivating cultural display followed by a presentation showcasing the volunteers' activities. For TFN News, Dauda Balde. The goal of welcome back from that report. Now we move on to another report. Gambian prison officers testify to have tortured at Maldu State Central Prison in the trial of former Interior Minister Usman Sonko in Switzerland. Sonko denies involvement and witness allege his knowledge of abuses and role in 2012 murder of Baba Joe. If found guilty, Sonko could face up to 20 years in prison.
And moving on, the governor of Central Bank, Boaz Sedi, reveals that the Gambian diaspora remittance stands at 737 million, which is equivalent to 45 billion in 2023, constituting 32.1% of the GDP, an increase of 3.46 from 2022. He emphasized that the economic significance. He anticipated continued growth through formal channels, highlighting CGP, Central Bank's initiative for enhanced diaspora investment and financial innovation. And moving on, we'll move now to sports. The Gambian national team head coach Thompson Fite has spoken to journalists where he outlined several factors that led to their defeat against Senegal. Here is an excerpt.
Shot on target was from us, Alassane Mane in the first minute, but then a few minutes later we conceded too easy the goal. For me, we were too passive in defending, we were out of position. After the 1-0, I think we came back in the game, we stabilized the game a little bit, and I had the feeling we could come back. What the big difference was all our shots, only 2 were in the frame of the goal, and almost every shot of Senegal was framed. They had 3 goals. About Gagé did 3-4 good saves. Naturally, the red card changed a lot. I think it was correct. No criticism of the referee. I think it was a correct red card. But playing with 10 against 11 in this heat, with 1-0 behind against the African champion, was very difficult. I think we were not lucky. The boys did everything. We fought very hard. But Senegal was too strong. They were better in shooting to the goal. And the 10 against 11 didn't help us at all. No. I think I don't like coaches who have complaints about external factors. The weather in the pitch is the same for both teams. We have not to find excuses. We have to be critical to ourselves. We have to learn out of things. We know we missed naturally Abdoulaye Diallo. We knew we missed Ibrahim Akoli. I think they are 2 very important players. But the players who are on the pitch are quality players. And sometimes you have to accept. Sometimes you have to accept that opponents are stronger, and the red card didn't help us. But I don't find excuses in weather or pitches. I'm happy of the performance of the boys, but I'm not happy of the result. We wanted to win this game, and we failed in that. The red card has influence, but we are responsible for the red card. If we make a fault, what gives a red card, we have to look to ourselves. It's not a mistake of a referee. We have to be disciplined. You can play aggressive, you can play strong, but don't take stupid red cards. And not in that moment where it's not necessary. It was not a danger zone. You can take a red card if one is 1 against 1 with the goalkeeper and you want to avoid to concede a goal. But this was an unnecessary red card for us, and we have to blame ourselves for that. They are very down. They are very down because losing is terrible, and losing against Senegal is even worse. But let's relax now. Let's look at the positive things. The shot on target was...
Well, from that message from the national team head coach Thompson Fite, we now move on to another sports story, which is following their 3-0 defeat to Senegal's Strong Lions in their opening match of the African Cup of Nations on Monday in Ivory Coast. The Scorpions of the Gambia have apologized to their fans for their disappointing performance and promised to do better in their upcoming matches. Here is an excerpt on that.
First of all, disappointed. This wasn't the plan. We prepared this game very well, tactically, mentally, physically. And at the end of the game, we lost 3-0. First of all, we considered an early goal, which wasn't part of our plan. We had a good block during the first half, but then, the red card came in. It also changed the game a little bit because of the temperature we were playing. But no alibi, I don't want to take any alibi. But then we tried to come back in the second half. Then they scored an early goal because we had a lot of spaces between us. This wasn't the plan, like I said, and yeah, we lost 3-0. It's really disappointing. The only thing I can say is that I'm sorry for my fellow Gambians. This wasn't our intention. We are here to play and we are here to compete and win.
Yeah, the feeling was amazing because everybody want to experience this kind of things, you know. So I think it's a good thing for me. I need to learn from this and be motivated for the next steps. Yeah. The defeat, it's difficult, but it inspired me to give to the next game also. I think if we play like this in any other opponent, we can have win because Senegal is a top club, a top national team, and then they play good football and they were the defending champions. So that win against the defending champion is always difficult. Yeah, we play our best, and then this is what we have. I think we would like to say to the fans that we are very sorry. This is what we want to give them, but this is how it is. So we need to just focus in the next game and play our best. Yeah.
I'm not in that mood to say that we are proud, but anyways, we wanted to win this game, and unfortunately, it happened already that Senegal managed to win this game, and we will just say bravo to them. And we don't have anything to say right now. We just want to try and win the other games as possible, and we'll just go and train for it.
A bit disappointed for our fans and for all our people in Gambia. But one thing I will say, there is still hope. So we have two more games to go, and we have seen from the last AFCON, 2-3 teams they qualified with 3 points. So we have two more games. So who knows? We can. It's a do-or-die game. We're gonna try all our best to win against Guinea, and then against Cameroon. Even if we have a draw, then we are qualified.
First of all,
well, that was a great disappointment from both the players and also the fans watching. Moving on, after their 3-0 victory over the Gambia, the Senegalese national team expressed their administration for the Scorpions' performance. The Senegalese players encouraged their Gambian counterpart to stay committed to winning future matches, while also acknowledging the Gambian team's talent. Here's an excerpt.
Honestly, I think it was a good game. Unfortunately, not for Gambia, but for us, I think it was a good game. We did what we expect. From the beginning, we created many chances. And we scored 3 goals. In general, I think we deserve to win. Yeah, obviously, I never want to play against Gambia in AFCON because I'm #1 fan from Gambia. Always, especially when Gambia's play. I'm always supporting Gambia, so today playing against them was a little bit tricky, but what can we do? Like I always said, Gambia people love football, they support football and they support Gambia team, and as well myself, they support me, but unfortunately not what I expect to play against Gambia, but what can I do? It's part of our job. But yeah, I will just say to stay behind the team and support them because
Gambian samay mbokk lañ sama lëf lañ ñamay lak soosé comme ñoom bon voilà juste di leen encourager équipe bu baax la ñor machallah di leen encourager ñi xam nga ñi jàpp yàlla baax na inshallah mbaa samay mbokk lañ comme je l'ai dit samay mbokk lañ bon sama pays la représenté il fallait que mo jouer tamit mais bon ma leen di souhaiter lépp la yàlla nañ ko def inshallah.
Okay, c'est bon. Yes, it's a good game today because we scored early. This is very good for us after they have red card. After we know it's not easy for them, and it's it's so hot. And I think we deserve today the victory. It's so special because we have some friends there, and we have family there, and it's not easy. But happy for the victory, and I wish them all the best for the.
Honestly, I think it was a good game.
Well, shout out to the Senegalese football players. I mean, this is the beauty of the game. After defeating Gambia 3-0, we've seen how they embrace the team and the performance of the team. This is football. It has to tell you that after the 90 games, you are no longer rivals. You go back to the dressing room and amend your mistakes. And now we will link you to our correspondent in Yamoussoukro, Emel Drame, who is there currently with our able cameraman Matar Jasi, as the Scorpions return to their training ground this evening in Yamoussoukro. Let's hear from what Emel had for us.
After that disappointing defeat against Senegal yesterday, the Scorpions of the Gambia are back on the training ground to redeem themselves and prepare for another very important game on Friday against Guinea. The Scorpions will want to send a different message on Friday when they face Guinea, who share points with Cameroon in their opening game yesterday. Keep following the Fatu Network. We will get you covered with every bit of information that is dropping here. I am Emel Drame reporting from Yamoussoukro in Ivory Coast.
Well, you've seen the game yesterday, you watched the game. What's your take on the game after the reactions from the players and also the coach?
The kind of football that the boys manifested yesterday, it can tell you that clearly that with a slight improvement, the boys gonna come back, because the next game we have Guinea Conakry. Remember, we won them in Cameroon in 2022, and I am hopeful that the boys can do it. The only thing that they need to focus on is that what has passed, it has passed, so they don't need to focus on the past. Senegal humiliated us, that's the fact, we must accept it. But Guinea also, we must make sure that we collect the 3 points from them. Remember, we already conceded 3 goals. So we have to up our games and make sure that we get the 3 points, maximum 3 points. And to the coach, I will advise him not to play defensive. Defensive is very bad, because the more you defend in the game, you're inviting your opponents, and you cannot play deep in the whole 90 minutes. It's impossible.
Oh, well, a lot of people actually criticize his footballing tactic, and you could see it's manifested yesterday by allowing the Senegalese defense line to play at their own freedom. Do you think if he embark on the same tactic comes against Guinea, and Guinea actually has been a chain team, of recent their performance have been very good, are you optimistic of any victory?
Well, I can tell you from a footballing perspective, I mean, yesterday his fixture was very good. I mean, probably is among the best that I ever seen him having. But again, you look at Senegal, they are the defending champions. It's very hard to deal with someone who is a defending champion. They have the throne, so it's not easy to win a game over the defending champions. And also, I can tell you what distracted the boys was the red card. Without the red card, Senegal could have not succeeded in scoring 3 goals.
I'm not coach is sure. Talking of the red card, do you think it was necessary to actually collect that red card?
That was temper issue. But it's football as well. I mean, we've seen the football has apologized earlier this morning. Apology accepted. This is part of football. The red card is not meant for the fans. It's meant for the footballers, and also
But the question is, was it necessary?
It wasn't a necessary one. That's why I said it was due to temper issue. I think the coach need to go back to the drawing board, engage his players. When you are in the pitch, you need to forget about temper issue, park it aside, focus on the game. In the game, you need to be there mentally and physically. The players yesterday, they were there physically but not mentally. And this is what happened. When they considered the red card, you see everybody was disconnected, and Senegalese people were just coming bang, 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 and they succeeded in winning the game.
Well, thank you. From there, we move to the next story, Dada.
I mean, over the weekend, Car Powership, the Gambia's Turkish partner, on Saturday donated food items to 3 orphanages as part of their social commitment to enhance development. The annual initiative, supported by Emric Dormusoglu, Car Powership Africa Director. The event was graced by Turkish ambassador in the Gambia, Tolga Bemak, with the aims to address food shortages for vulnerable children. Our reporter Adam Asane attended this donation, and he files in his report.
Powership, the Turkish strategic partner of the Gambia and NAWEC since 2018, donated food items to 3 orphanages on Friday in a ceremony held at their office in the former Dream Park. The annual donation, which targets specific groups, reflects the company's social development orientation. Car Powership initiates each new year with donations and charity, particularly to orphanages in the countries they operate in. Describing it as a gesture to complement efforts in supporting children and youth, Emre Durmusoglu, Car Power Africa Director, assured that the donations would be a continuous gesture in supporting orphanages in the Gambia.
This year, we are starting with 3 orphanages to donate almost $10,000 worth of the rice, oil, and sugar. Car Power knows the responsibility of the orphanages and the social development and social improvement and well-being of the countries and good people of the countries. So not just for Gambia, but also in Africa, we are in 9 countries, and we are supporting them every single year as much as we can. And we will continue to do this, inshallah. As Car Power, inshallah, you will see me this year again with these donations, as well as the health and students' support in the Gambia.
Tolga Bermak, the Turkish ambassador to the Gambia, commended the actions of Car Powership, describing them as genuine friends of the Gambia. The ambassador expressed gratitude for the generous donation of food items to the orphanages.
Actions speak louder than words. And as an ambassador, having been here in this beautiful country, I have always witnessed the good actions of Car Powership. They are not only acting as a commercial company, they have acted as one of us, as genuine friend of the Gambia, with their social responsibility projects.
On behalf of the beneficiaries, Ustaz Gassama of Madrasatul Afallan Sise in Sukuta thanked Car Powership for the donations, emphasizing the timeliness and need for such items.
Na kontano dangonta fonola katung nyimma ko yero en taradulal to dami yalonko mbe solare ngala bake.
We can't express how happy we are because this donation came at a time we needed it. We want to thank Car Power for helping these orphans seated here. Help is something encouraged by our Prophet, who says, if anyone helps a fellow Muslim, Allah will help you in return. Ustaz Gassama stated that helping orphans is commendable in Islam, as these individuals lack parents to take care of their needs. Jane Dark Danti Kenibiai, acting shelter manager at the Bakote Baby Shelter, highlighted their responsibilities and the cases of children they care for, including child protection and care, abandoned children, the risk of losing parents, children of mentally ill parents, juvenile cases, teenage pregnancy cases, and traffic victims. She emphasized the importance of the donation to the shelter.
Yeah, this will really help because when it comes in terms of numbers, shelter is the only government shelter that we have, and we are not limited when it comes to numbers because we are the only government shelter in the Greater Banjul area. All cases that has to do with children has to come under our care, and most of the time when they are raiding, we work with Gambia Police Force, Gambia Immigration Force, whenever there is a joint task force to raid girls who are into sex tourism or to raid children who are sleeping outside under unprotected care. So most of the time those children are being brought to us. Children who run away from madrasas also, they are regarded as children on the move. Sometimes they come in large numbers and we have to take care of them and give them food, shelter and protection.
The handing over of items was conducted by Mr. Emre Durmusoglu, Car Power Africa Director, Tolga Bermak, the Turkish ambassador to the Gambia, and Car Power Group in the Gambia, to the baby shelter in Bakote, Madrasatul Tafsir Quran in Fonyi, and Madrasatul Afallan Sise in Sukuta. The items, comprising 150 bags of rice, 100 bags of sugar, and 56 10-liter gallons of vegetable oil, will be shared among the 3 orphanages to support the food crisis at their centers.
Eight people, now into the international front, 8 people have been confirmed dead and around 100 missing in the latest boat accident in northern central Nigeria. The overload. With past promises of safety measures unfulfilled, leading to frequent deadly accidents in the region.
Moving on, more on the international news. Somalia President's son convicted in Turkey over motorcyclist death, initially sentenced to 2.5-year prison, which was promptly consumed, promptly commuted to a fine of 27,300 Turkish lira, approximately $910, sparking criticism and potential legal challenges.
And moving on to the U.S. now, former United States America's President Donald J. Trump Monday secured a landslide victory in the Iowa Republican caucuses. Mr. Trump's victory has cemented his front-runner status as the Republican nominee for the November 5th, 2024 U.S. presidential election. Well, that was all we have for you, but before we go, here is a recap of the main headlines.
Janjanbureh residents expressed disappointment over how the bicentenary commemoration was held. COP's Africa Gambia chapter launches youthful volunteers into action against climate change. Gambian prison officers testify in crimes against humanity trial of former interior minister in Switzerland. In sport, Coach Thompson Fate speaks to journalists after Gambia's defeat to Senegal. Apologetic Scorpions players react to defeat against Senegal. In the international front, 8 dead and an estimated 100 people missing after the latest Nigeria boat accident.
Well, that was all we have for you. Do join us next time for the same bulletin. I am your host, Aliu Jallo. To have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.